Gemini, and welcome to Looking Glass Letterbox for the summer 2021 overviews. This is a general reading, so it's not going to connect or apply for everyone out there, but hopefully there's something that's interesting or encouraging or fun to consider as you decide what you're going to do over the summer. Also, if what is active for you, what you're focused on or concerned with, is not showing up here, check your other placements, your sun, moon, rising, and Venus. What's active for you may be showing up elsewhere in your chart. It's also a good idea to do that if you want a more complex and comprehensive picture of different influences that may be available to support you over the progression of the summer. Lovely. We are going to begin with the full moon in Capricorn. Okay, that is actually the strawberry moon, June 24th, full moon in Capricorn. It's also a super moon, so if you like working with the lunar influences, this one can be powerful. It's a sign that the end of a tough cycle is approaching, especially because it's Capricorn. It could be a wrapping up of a professional project or a job, something related to your work or your business that has been persnickety or trying. So that's going to wrap up and come to a conclusion, and now is a time to be prepared for or start preparing for what you're going to do next when that happens. It's also a signal to consider if there's anywhere you've been focusing a little too much control to where it's induced stagnancy or a stifling effect, and things can't grow or get moving or continue to expand or develop because the focus of control is too restrictive. So loosen up that element of control or allow a greater amount of nuance into how you are tending to those things to allow for some elasticity and flexibility for time and circumstance to allow for development, and then you can be more proactive in responding to what develops from that point. Also, work-life balance questions, great to consider, especially over the summer months, coming into a work-life balance before we roll into autumn and everything starts getting routines and schedules start being implemented again. There's a little bit of freedom available in the summer to be a little bit more flexible and innovative with how you use your time. Also, if you've been feeling a little hopeless or have been lacking a little faith or a little bit detached from things that you've been trying to develop, if you feel stuck and you're caught in worst case scenario thought patterns, where you put your focus of your mind and your emotion and how that affects your effort and your behavior in interaction is what is going to develop. So if it's in a negative thought process of worst case scenario, where you think like everything that could possibly go wrong and you're making decisions based off of fear, anxiety, or inadequacy, that's going to influence the result that is then produced. So it's a little bit self-sabotaging, a little bit self-fulfilling prophecy. So a much better use of your time and effort and attention is in making a plan of action that allows a framework for a goal to be set, whatever your particular goal or aspiration is, over the course of the next 3 months. And the result isn't actually the most important process. The process is the most important aspect of the scenario. So the result is just the byproduct of the process that you're investing in. So a framework that allows you to stay grounded and centered in what it is that you want to establish and elevate, and then also allows you to be adaptable and flexible to allow that then to be enriched by time, circumstance, synchronicity, serendipity, beyond even what your initial inception of thought may have been. So the result is likely going to be something that you don't expect if you should choose to do so. But Capricorn is in traditional tarot, it's the devil. So it's actually the direct opposite of the lovers, because the lovers is unification within the duality, and Capricorn is about being direct and considering and addressing those things that we need to detach ourselves from in order for our well-being as well. So this may be some things, some decisions need to be made, or some thoughts, beliefs, story, behaviors may need to be dismantled and infused into this plan of what you want to develop over the summer. If you're going to do that, that's going to be influential in those respects. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then we have for the theme for Gemini for summer 2021 is the vow. Okay, so this is the promise. So what you say, what you communicate, the words that you speak, they have weight. So if you're making a promise, committing to something, saying you're going to do something, and beware that you're sort of going to be held to that. So before you speak, think, and be certain that is something you feel confident that you will be able to hold to with the vow, because this is no small influence of the power of your words. It's actually how significant what you say and then how you follow through on what you say actually is for yourself and then also for the people around you. Also, I'm curious, at the bottom, at the bottom we have the ring. All right, so that's, the token and the symbol of union, commitment, conviction, and promise. So some of you may actually be getting married or meet the person that you're going to want to marry or enter into a long-term committed partnership with, whether that be romantically, whether that be in business, whether that be in friendship, or a circumstance that you're going to commit yourself to, a call to service, or a call to action that you are going to follow through on. Before you speak and make that commitment, make sure you understand the ramifications of those words. With Gemini, you're all about the mental body, your I think, and that thought is expansive because it can see the multifaceted scope of what those thoughts entail on both from the range from negative to positive, dark to light, and everything in between. All right, so be careful of what you say this summer and what you promise. In Cancer season, Cancer is I feel. It's what you nurture. It's the mother archetype aspect. So what you encourage into growth, self-sufficiency, self-sustainability, to have a life outside of you when your role within that aspect is finished. And you've got the eagle. So again, this is sort of vital, bright, clear, true, empowered, noble thought in the mental body, because again, it is the airspace. It is fierce because it is an eagle. And you don't mess around with an eagle. So this is all-pervading power, truth seeker, and transforming karma. So it's emanating the light of the sun. It's physically and spiritually strong and represents mastery over fire and air. So purpose and decision and communication. So when the eagle appears, it's like you're being called into transformation. So again, with the devil Capricorn influence in Gemini, which is normally about unification and commitment, this is some fundamental systems in your life, whether it's in your thoughts, whether it's in your emotions, your behaviors, or what it is you're focused on manifesting external to yourself. There are some things that need to be detached from and released in order to encourage and embrace this vow that's going to apply moving forward from this point. So it pushes you to be your best and brightest and stops at nothing to see the shine. So it's bright, radiant, and challenging. When it's out of balance, it's controlling, and that's a little bit of that Capricorn energy. And controlling tendency can also be self-sabotaging and self-limiting habit. So to sort of bring that into balance, step into and start developing yourself and learning about things in the unknown quantity, something you haven't experienced before or considered before that might have value to what it is you want to commit this summer to, and then potentially the rest of the year to. Okay, and then supporting the eagle, we have the high priestess. So intuitively, whoever's connecting with this has an idea what this is talking about already. It's already been something you've been considering and thinking about and considering the consequences of, and considering on whether or not you're going to make the vow or not. But it's your decision. You can say yes, you can say no. It's entirely up to you. But there is an inner knowing with the high priestess. There's something that is, at the center. This little sun gazing bright that the eagle's about to grasp is related to this mystery in the shadow. So it's the shadow that's directly beneath the source of light, where whatever it is that you seek to discover and reveal is going to be found, and the commitment to finding that is reflected here. That's going to be what you're going to sort of be focusing on and developing throughout the end of June and July in Cancer season. Then we move into Leo season, and Leo season is I do. Cancer is I feel, I nurture, and Leo is I do. I go out, I'm seen, and I show up, and how I show up, I'm center stage, and I radiate outward, and I want to be seen, and I want to be in community and in communication and in communion with other people as well. So the sort of presence of Leo is the gift of themselves within the scenario, and then wanting to receive that in return as well. So that exchange and communion of community and activity and showing up. And we have the fish. Okay, so that's an emotional element in a fire sign. So a little bit of tempering of the ego that can be involved in Leo. A little bit more of emotional resonance, and it can signify some impatience, some restlessness. So initially, if you decide to commit to this vow or this promise, whether it's to yourself, to someone else, or to a circumstance or situation, the easiest promises to break are the ones that we make to ourselves, because we feel like we're the only one who suffers from that. We're the only one who knows about. The vow is about, regardless of if it's to you or to someone else or to a situation or circumstance, they all hold the same weight and the same significance, and it is a resonant, deep level of significance. So this vow, if it's about yourself, if it's a promise you want to make to yourself, it is just as important as if you were making that promise to other people. Okay, and the fish is, there's some restlessness, some inner resistance that may rise up in trying to adapt and keep that promise to yourself that you're going to align with here in Cancer season. So some difficulty in doing so that may cause a little bit of emotional upheaval within yourself or within your relationships that are going to be affected by the promise you're making to yourself. Because that promise is going to require you to see yourself differently, allow yourself to evolve and change and grow, and that's going to affect the connections that you have with people and circumstances throughout your life. So that restlessness and an emotional turbulence may be rising to the surface. So struggling through that in Leo season and how you're showing up and interacting in those spaces is going to be something that is your focus is drawn out. But this is the Six of Swords. So this is moving on in your mental body. So allowing old story, reconciling the past, forgiving the past, releasing the past, detaching from the things that no longer apply or the things that are prohibitive. You're going, after the turbulent time of that adjustment and that restlessness and sort of inner resistance that may well up, after you struggle through that with the Five of Swords, which is previous to the Six, you'll come out victorious and free and released to be propelled forward into the smoother waters, onto the new shore, into the unknown with the eagle and the high priestess and the vow, and in the direction of where it was you were planning to go with that Capricorn influence as well. So it's about coming into connection and reciprocity and the cyclical nature of exchange in your mental body. And that's your story, your thoughts, your decisions, your perspectives, all of those things. After you struggle through the turbulence with the fish, you're going to come out into Virgo season and take that information about your aspiration and recognizing what your vision of the best version of yourself is and what it is that you're aspiring to, and you intuitively know what it is that you're seeking to understand or discover from that. After you go through this trial and test and adjustment period, you'll analyze all of that into a bigger picture and a greater understanding for stability and security with the elk. The elk is the father archetype in the deck. It's grounded energy. We have a solar eclipse here, and that is, we just had the solar eclipse on June 10th, so that was a reboot to the influences as well. Great time for new beginning, great time for second chances. Capricorn is a cardinal sign in grounded manifestation intentions, beginning, proactive initiation. Cancer season, summer solstice, great time for new beginning. Cancer is cardinal in the emotional body. So being proactive and initiatory and activating a new beginning or accepting a second chance in the water element as well. So if you've been waiting for the right time to do something, to implementing, to make a promise to yourself, now is a great sort of sphere of influence to do so in, because from the aspiration to struggling through the inner resistance of the change and the evolution to stabilization and dependability with the elk in grounded effort, is very auspicious and fortunate for anyone who wants to employ those energies, because changing your mind is not easy, and also being decisive and committed to what you believe, what you think, what you say, and what you intend is also a difficult thing to do, especially if there's a bit of a struggle where you're in the mental body and the emotional body are sort of at cross purposes. So that stabilization with the elk, coming with the review of the developments of July and August, is going to be helpful in supporting that. We have the Eight of Wands, so lightning strikes, a whole lot of things happening at once. A whole lot of communication, revelation, opportunity, activity. Wands is our purpose, passion, motivation, how we physically show up and do based on our decisions and our emotions, and then extend ourselves into the efforts of creation and coming into connection. Eight of Wands is a whole lot happening all at once. There's a swiftness to that, and this elk energy, this stabilization through this experience, and then committed to the vow and knowing what it is that you're seeking and allowing yourself to be free to do so, is going to allow you to navigate this space more efficiently and effectively, especially if you have a plan in place with that Capricorn influence to be successful in the endeavor. Wow, remarkable, Gemini. I like that a lot. And then the foundation is the black egg. So that is the speaking from an authentic voice, the truth. So it's one of life's essential treasures is the truth. So there's no confusion in a black egg. There's no excuses, no small talk, nonsense, noise, or lies that allows you to sort of, if you've broken promises, if you haven't followed through on your word, if you don't pay attention to the things that you say and the things that you're committing to and how those are received by other people, and you sort of let yourself off the hook for that, the black egg is like, no, with this one, there's no off the hook. You mean it. If you mean it, say it. Mean what you say and say what you mean, and then follow through. That's what the black egg is calling for here. And then at the bottom of the tarot deck, we have the vision. This is your vision of the future, your active participation in the co-creation of the future that you want to meet, of the creation that you are involved in. 3 is related to the Empress. It's the first point at which you're bringing the imaginary into actuality, into the reality, and how you show up to follow through on your thoughts and your emotions to make that happen external to you. All right, so fire energy, creation energy here. Lovely. Love that, Gemini. That is all that I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope it was interesting or helpful. Please subscribe, like, comment. That really helps me out a lot, but I realize that your time and attention is valuable, so thank you so much for sharing some of it with me. I appreciate it greatly. Also, if you are interested in early access and extended reading for future videos, check out the link in the description for the Patreon. That may be something you're interested in signing up for. Otherwise, have a fantastic summer, and I will see you for the July Cancer season overviews. Bye, Gemini.